Hello and welcome. It's Susan, and this is Treasure Chest Tuesday, celebrating the treasure chest of you and all that we have to bring as a collective of light into humanity at this time as the light leaders that we are. Today, my theme is more about me, but I think you'll relate to it. My two mantras that I'm using right now, which are helping me immensely. Couple of things this relates to. One, the first one is the fires here in the Los Angeles County area, and I am part of Los Angeles County where I live. I am not that, but I am part of it where I live, and I have not been personally too affected, as I have been able to move the fire energy out of Santa Monica where I live, but many have been. And it's devastating, and it is a rock bottom kind of situation for many people who have lost their homes. I just can't even imagine what that would be like, what that would entail. A very ground zero kind of energy for so many people, and I'm so very aware of it and grateful that I'm able to do some volunteer work to help out with the situation for so many. And as I mentioned in December, I knew that this year, 2025, was going to start off with a high pace to it. Well, here we had high winds and high fire and a huge monumental event that kicked off transformation. And our prayers are in this whole situation, hoping that it can bring forth so many wonderful pieces of light and love for many. Obviously, we've seen so many coming together to help, and that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So the heart is cracking open in many ways wherever it is needed. So the other big event, of course, is in the United States. We have what we call a change of administration coming, and that has potential monumental impact. So with these two things going on, there's a lot for us to handle, and the whole world is involved with all these things, and you have all your situations that are very personal or very real for where you live that none of us take lightly, even if we don't know all the details about them. So I am with you. I am with you so much. One of the deepest energies that I'm aware of that's come up for myself and for many is what I would call an edginess. An edginess, just a little bit of on edge about things, which is a combination of fear and trying to bring up our power. This is a year for discovering even more of our own inner strengths. And let me remind you that strength is not just outer willpower. We will work this out, right? That can be part of it. That's a masculine part of it. But there's also strength in resilience. There's strength in fluidity. There's strength in being able to not react or respond in ways that fuel the fire. There's a strength in being able to be serene in the midst of it all without being in shutdown, being able to find our own sense of joy, creation, and strength of being what I call a warrior for creation. That we are able to just move forward in beautiful ways and see what is the integrity that wants to come forward in the situation from your own heart and soul. The integrity, the truth, the love, all of that, those are our strengths. Compassion is a strength. Non-judgment is a strength. Harmony is a strength for the heart. So along that line, for me personally, my edginess, I have edginess and sadness. The sadness comes when I started really realizing that, at, sort of a present tense situation, that our President Joe Biden is going to be leaving office. And I felt a deep sadness around that. And I had to look in myself, well, what is that about? Why am I so deeply sad? I've known for a couple of months it was going to happen, right? And I realized it's what he holds for me that I'm sad that is going to be missing. It's a sense of safety, a sense of hope, a sense of an umbrella of knowing that all is going to be well, at least at that level of leadership, and his connection to the world, and his care and concern for the American people and the people of this world as well. And I went, wow, just as he said it in a concluding speech, it's up to us now. And I was like, oh, rats. That makes me really sad. I don't want it to be up to us completely. I want you to make sure we're going to be safe, right? So I chuckle about it because I'm past it mostly, but I realize, wow, it really is a time for us to bring forth our strengths, even more so to not see an outer authority as having power over us. More and more all the time, darn it, right? We can't live like that, that somebody is going to make sure that we're safe. We have to do that now. And that is one of our strengths that will be coming forward in this year as a collective nature of strength. So we can turn that sadness and that edginess, as I'm feeling it, into a sense of, okay, serenity. That we do, as humanity, know what to do. We know how to be able to master in the moment not only our reactions to what's going on, but be able to come together collectively and provide what is true for us, and not let one person, which relates to that authoritative rule that seems to want to come into place here, not let that have its way, have its say. So 2 phrases, my 2 mantras. One is, and I will remind you, let's talk about edginess a bit. Edginess comes from a combination of fear and frustration of hopelessness, right? When you feel like you can't change something, you get edgy. It's like, there's nothing I can do about this situation. My boss said this, or so-and-so did that, or I can't change their mind about that. It relates to situations and people outside of us, right? We feel hopeless and helpless to make a change, and we're afraid that we don't have the capacity to make a change. So we get edgy and frustrated. That will take us, when we move into a deeper place and move out of edgy and fearful and frustrated, you go deeper into, I have the power to change this situation. There is something I can do here. I'm not helpless. I'm not hopeless. I am not at the behest, is that the word for it? Somebody else is not in charge of my own inner life. I can build my own infrastructure to handle what's going on in the outer. We all know that in theory. We're learning it even in greater ways now, okay? We're being pushed out of our comfort zones, as I was just mentioning, all of us. So here is one of the mantras that has come to me for us to really focus on, if you choose. So remember this phrase, it's ancient in a way. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. This is where the freedom of free choice comes in. We do have a choice how we respond to things. We do have a choice how we act in any situation. And this year I am particularly focused on helping all of us to learn how to be at that higher level of wisdom and perception and connection and communion, feeling supported by others, to be able to handle what could be a rapid fire of change going on. How we handle it will make a difference in what comes forward. Our own serenity to start with first, knowing what we can change, knowing what we can't change in the outer, but how we respond to it, and how we go into creative warriorship, the warrior for creation. What am I going to create in this situation now? From a place of serenity, what am I going to create now? Right? Okay. And I will remember, this isn't talked about in the news, but there are a ton of planetary alignments that are bigger than ever in this year to assist us. That's what we want to learn to be aligned with, so we feel we are empowered by something larger. God, the universe, all love empowers us. That is where the true power lies, and a few people's actions in the outer do not have the complete say in anything. Okay? Second mantra. Woohoo! You remember the Harry Potter series? And my favorite one was when Harry Potter was working with in his school of magic, and the teacher said to him and the students there, guess what we're going to do today? We're going to help you be able to conquer your monsters, right? Conquer the monsters. So in the movie, they showed a projection of somebody's subconscious, which is, tell me, what is the thing you're most afraid of? What is the monster you're most afraid of? So think of that right now. It could be a situation, it could be a person, it could be a potential threat to you, right? If something's going to be taken from you, somebody's not going to allow you to A, B, C, or D, right? Just think of your monster. And yes, it could be spiders, okay? What is the monster in your situation? Okay. That must be my monster coming into my throat all of a sudden. Okay, fear of a monster. All right. So imagine that on a screen in front of you, that situation happen, having to lose your home, having to have somebody in authority tell you you don't get to have Social Security anymore, having somebody say we're going to do A, B, C, or D, whatever your monster is in this year, okay? Not being able to have something that matters to you. So feel that fear in you and the monster in front of you. Now, in the movie and book Harry Potter, they had them wave a magic wand and say ridiculous, and really mean it as many times as they needed to, until the monster transformed. And in the case of the huge, big, fat old monster figure in the movie, it became a little mouse and it ran away. Isn't that what we want? Our fear of something happening as a threat. We're getting a lot of threat these days in this new government structure. A lot of threats. We're going to do this, we're going to do that. That's the monster often, is the threat, to try to oppress us. You know, we're going to threaten you, so you'll be afraid and you'll back off. Not anymore. You know what we're going to do? We're going to go ridiculous. You said what about the California fires? Ridiculous, ridiculous, ridiculous. And you say it enough and mean it enough that you calm yourself down to that place of serenity that says, yeah, that is all ridiculous. I know what's true. I'm going to be a warrior for the creation of what's true, and I am not going to let that monster get to my nervous system, get to my little parts that are afraid of the monster, right? I am going to be the David and Goliath, the David that knows how to carry the wisdom of what to do in the situation without being afraid of the monster Goliath. We see it in all the movies, what, King Kong, you name it, right? It's that alignment, that inner strength. Again, that strength is resilience. Being able to say that's ridiculous, not being afraid is the strength, right? And as we come into that, whoa, we start to transform all sorts of things. All sorts of things. So, what are your mantras this year? Please feel free to write below the video. Email me, let me know what your monsters are and what your mantras are, right? So we can help transform them. Because I love knowing what your mantras are and what you are focused on in this year, so we can help everybody to be able to come to these higher levels of wisdom, perception, knowing, and the strength of the connection to light that will transform the world quickly, not out of fear, but out of a sense of the power of light can change everything. And love is the mastery. I'm so thrilled to be with you again, and I look forward to seeing you soon on another video. Feel free to do like, subscribe, all those fun things, because it tells the universe that you believe that this year is going to be your best year ever, and you are going to develop strengths you didn't even know you had, so that you can bring your soul gifts to light in fabulous ways. I'm so with you, with deep blessing and love.